And welcome to our SIPS Plus training. My name is Samantha Frisbee. I am the IT business analyst in the IT system support unit. And I am very excited to roll out SIPS Plus to you guys. Erica?
Hi, everybody. I am Erica Hoppes. I am the administrative manager for the IT system support section. So we have been working very hard on the SIPS project for quite some time. And we are very excited, to get this rolled out to you guys. So the first session that we have today, we are going to go ahead and cover our user setup, the My Login process. And we're also going to do just a little navigation tour through the system. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Sam.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off just so I don't distract you guys, and I'll start sharing my screen.
So while Sam pulls her screen up, one thing that I wanted to cover while she is getting all set up is that we are migrating all of our MWPR user data into the system. And what we're doing is we're giving access based on the licenses that you have access to currently. So as many of you know, we did send out an invitation to pre-register through My Login. Moving forward, our external users for the existing MWPR and eQuote systems are going to have to utilize My Login in order to access the registration systems. So Sam is going to go ahead and she is going to walk you through My Login, and then she'll turn it back over and we'll just talk about user setup and what that means for you guys and the different abilities that you have in the new registration system.
All right. So before I get started, I just want to point out that on our website, we have the SIPS Plus button here. If you click on that, it's going to redirect you to the SIPS Plus page, and it will give you a little bit more information about My Login. It has the My Login setup and instruction guide, and it also has a guide to link you to the MLCC. I'll be going through those steps today. But if you would like to take a look any further, you can go here. We are encouraging everyone to get set up on My Login if they do not have a My Login account already prior to November 3rd. Now there
And
are
Sam, I did go ahead and throw the SIPS Plus link into the chat for folks if they wanted
perfect.
to go ahead and utilize that.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that. There are a few different types of My Login. We have My Login for Workers, what we use here at the state. My Login for Business is another My Login that's offered, and then just regular My Login. So what we're going to have you guys log into the SIPS Plus system with is just regular My Login. If you get your account created and you don't see where you're able to link yourself to the MLCC, chances are you are in the wrong My Login system. So if you take a look at your URL, you'll be able to tell right away. Right now, I am in a test My Login environment. So you'll see that here in my link. But I am going to log in as if I were setting up an account for the first time. So if I scroll down here, I'm on My Login. I'm going to select Create an Account. And it's going to have me enter in my unique email. So I created a dummy email for this. And then I'll select Next Step. And once I select Next Step, it's going to send me a verification email to the email address that I had entered in there. And I'll go ahead and just move this over so you can see it. Once you click on that email, it's going to give you a verification code. You're going to want to go ahead and copy this code, and you'll paste it back into this passcode box here. If for some reason you don't get the passcode, you can resend it to yourself. Oftentimes you'll want to check your junk email as well. All right, so this is going to bring you to the next page where you're going to enter in your information. So I'm just going to say I am test non-spirit Sam, and I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions, and I'm going to select Next Step. Now, this is an optional screen. You can enter in your phone number if you happen to get locked out of your My Login account. It's a way to recover your password. For this training, I'm going to go ahead and skip this step as it's not required. But essentially, you would enter in your phone number. you would choose for the system to either send you a text message or a voice call. It's going to provide you with a passcode, like the passcode that we just saw on the previous screen. You would enter in that passcode into the My Login system, and then it would give you an option to reset your password. But I'm going to go ahead and choose skip this for now. And the next screen here is going to ask me to create a user ID. So when you log into My Login, you can log in using your user ID or the email that you had created your My Login account with. The user ID has a couple of guidelines. It must be at least 6 characters long. It has to have an upper and a lowercase letter. It must end with an upper or a lowercase letter or a number, and it cannot contain any special characters. So I'm going to just put in a user ID and select next step. All right, so now it's going to prompt you to create a password. There's a few password guidelines for this. You must be at least 8 characters in length. It can't be the same as the user ID that we had just created. It has to have an upper and a lowercase letter, a number, and a symbol. And these 2 passwords should match. And then you'll select create an account. So now it's telling me that this account was created successfully. And sometimes it does throw an error because I am in a test environment, and they do testing in My Login. So let me go ahead and go back to My Login QA. And Erica, if it does keep spinning for me, sometimes the server that I'm on, I might have to have Erica pull it up for me as well, because she is on a different one.
All right, so while we're waiting for Sam's My Login to come up, what I will go ahead and do is just kind of explain the different user types to you. So within the SIPS registration system, we will have the concept of a primary user. Right now, everybody, all of our licensees have provided to us an existing email address that they are using. So we've migrated that data over into the system so that we are using that email for the primary user moving forward. That primary user is going to be the primary point of contact, for the MWPR or not MWPR, the MWPR replacement system. And they will have a little bit of an elevated functionality when we start to walk through the system and we start to look at, what users are able to do. We have introduced a concept of sub-users and contact users. So for each license that you are associated with, you do have an opportunity to add up to 4 sub-users. So those primary users that are established out there and linked to the system, or those licenses existing now, those will be able to create sub-users. Those sub-users will have the ability to get into the system. They can register products. They can register, submit transactions. They are going to receive correspondence via email about products that are registered or updates to those products. So the only thing that a sub-user cannot do is they do not have that same user management. So a sub-user can't get in and add another user. They are just added, because if one of our primary users is working with some other folks in the office, we definitely don't want to segregate, down to one person and have just one person, managing things if it is necessary for the businesses to expand that. The contact users that we have created in the system, they are not the system access type of a user. What these users are is really what they are, what we call them is a contact user. We use them as a point of contact for emails that are going out. We did have a request coming in from some folks letting us know that, maybe they have like a manager or maybe they have, somebody else that works in the office. And when you register a product, an email goes out to let you know that, that a submission has occurred. We want somebody else to receive those emails too. Or if we're submitting a transaction and an email is going out, or once a product is approved, we send out the approval email. These contact users are going to be the users that are established to just receive the emails as well. And when Sam finishes what she's got going on here, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start navigating through the system. Sam's going to show you how to add and remove both sub users and contact users as a primary user. And Sam, if you continue to have some issues, then, I
I
can go
am
ahead
in.
and,
I think
all
that
right.
they may have pushed something right in the middle of that. So apologies for that, everyone. But now where we would go after we created the account is it's going to navigate you. And thank you, Erica, for taking that over while we were waiting for that. It's going to navigate you to the My Login homepage here. When you log in, it's going to say welcome and then your name that you have added here. In this case, I put Test on Spirit Sam because that's what I added myself as. You're going to be automatically linked to these two things. You will not need to touch anything there. What you'll want to do is you're going to scroll down to this Discover Online Services and select Find Services. And then you're going to go over to Laura. Now here you're going to see that I have several AIMS environments. That's because I'm in a test environment and these are just different test environments that we have. For this training, I'm going to choose AIMS SIPS. For you, it's just going to say AIMS Alcohol Information Management System. There's just going to be one option. It's going to give you a little bit of information about what AIMS is. You'll have terms and conditions, and then you'll want to go ahead and agree to those terms and conditions and select Add Service. Now you're only going to want to, you'll only have to add this service one time. Once it's added, the next time that you log in, AIMS will automatically be on that home screen where we saw that Secretary of State. You'll be able to just click AIMS there. So what you're going to do is select Launch Service. And this is going to bring you to the first page of the portal. All right. So like I said at the beginning, we've been encouraging you to go ahead and get your My Login account set up prior to November 3rd. So currently, what you're going to see when you get your My Login account set up and you're linked to the MLCC, you're only going to have this option here. And this option would take you to our renewal system where our licensees go in and renew their licenses every year. So once you get to this screen and you see that you are successfully linked prior to November 3rd, you're all set. You don't have anything to do until November 3rd comes. When November 3rd comes, you're going to see this second option where we have the SIPS product registration system. And you would go ahead and click this second option here, and this is going to take you into the portal. So when you log in and you get set up, linked to MLCC, you're going to be taken to this portal right here. And this is where you would go to register your products, submit transactions, all of the things. So that is the My Login portion. Does anyone have any questions regarding My Login or setting up your account? Okay. All right, so next, we're going to go ahead and set up the different types of users. So Erica previously talked to you about the types of users that we have here in the system. And in order to do that, you would go ahead and navigate over to the license screen. And here it's going to go ahead and show you the licenses that you are linked to. Erica, if you wanted to go ahead and explain a little further on the license contact, if I should go over to that screen first, maybe.
Yeah, let's hit that license contact tab real quick. So when we start to talk about the license contact to you guys, what we're talking about is the link between the user and that license. And so as I had been kind of mentioning before, we have taken all of those existing users and we've linked them out to all of the licenses that they are currently linked to. So when Sam walked you through My Login and mentioned, that the only thing you needed to do was just get yourself through that My Login, on November 3rd, when we flip the switch, you should have access to that tab. And as long as you have an active license contact with us in the system, you will gain access to the licenses that you are currently linked to. Right here from the license contact tab, you've got a system number, your user type. So right now you can see that we just have primary user records in this particular record. The status is going to let us know whether it is an active record or an inactive record. The contact is going to give you a contact name, the email, and then the license that is associated with it. We do go ahead and show you a license status. We do that because if for some reason your status is inactive and it is due to the license being inactive, we just want to let you know. And then it's going to let you know whether you are a spirit or a non-spirit license. So anybody on these screens for the licenses that are listed in that license column and the user type primary user is able to go out to that license and add a sub-user or a contact user. So Sam will go ahead and navigate back over to the license tab. You can change your view on this tab here if you go ahead and click that drop down. If you hit the register non-spirit products, it does reformat that page a little bit nicer for you so that you can, get a little better look on there. She's going to go ahead and select either one of those license numbers. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see that she has a couple different options. We're going to go ahead and add the sub-user first. And so what you'll notice here is that Sam has two options. Sam can either select new sub-user contact, or she can create an existing sub-user contact. So what we have set up in the system here is an ability for you to reestablish somebody as a contact if they've already been associated to that license before. For the sake of the process that we're going to follow, we're going to go ahead and pick new sub-user contact, and we'll get this information entered. So Sam's going to go ahead and put in the first name, the last name. What you'll notice as she is doing the data entry for this is there are a little red asterisks next to some of these fields, and that is going to indicate the fields for you that are required before you are able to either select save or hit submit on the screens that we have within the system. She did go ahead and change the preferred communication method to email, and you are going to want to make sure that you do that for anybody that wants to be part of those email communications. So she'll go ahead and hit save. And we've got a success message just letting her know that the sub-user contact and the license contact records were created successfully. So she's going to go ahead and click OK. So we'll go out to that license contact.
Just one thing to note, sometimes you do need to refresh this screen to go ahead and have that new user that you created appear for you.
Oh, good point, Sam. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, we went ahead and we added this testing sub-user as a, and we were like, oh, shoot, you know what we really meant to do was put them in the system as a contact user. What you're going to do is you're going to want to go ahead and deactivate this sub-user. So you're going to click that number next to the sub-user from the license contact view. In the upper right-hand corner, we're going to go ahead and click update status. And that is going to move this person from an active user to an inactive user. Once a user is set to inactive, they will no longer have access to view anything that is related back to that license. So let's go ahead and go back out to our license tab. And we're just going to go ahead and add this person as a contact user. So in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to select add contact user. And this time we're going to go ahead and pick that it is an existing contact. It's going to go ahead and give you a list of all of the users that are out there in the system that you can select from. So Sam's going to go ahead and pick that. Just verify that your license name is accurate. That does pre-fill. And the user type that we're creating here is a contact user. So Sam will go ahead and hit save. Success message will come up in the system, just letting us know that that has been done successfully. And if she navigates out there to that license contact screen and refreshes, you now can see that we have a deactivated sub-user, and we have now taken that same user and we have made them a contact user in the system.
Any questions on that?
So what's the difference between a sub-user and a contact user in terms of access?
So the difference between a sub-user and a contact user from an access standpoint is a sub-user can gain access to the system. A contact user is just a person who is CC'd on contacts that are being sent from the system. So if you have somebody who wants to do things in the system, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that they are added as a sub-user. But, you
Okay.
know, say you have a manager or somebody who just wants to be on those emails, you know, they just want to see that stuff coming through. You'll add those as a contact user and they wouldn't have access to the system in that capacity.
Okay. Thank you.
A sub user does need their own My Login. So I do see, you know, that we had a question in the chat. Does a sub user need their own My Login account? Yes, the state is moving towards, you know, all systems that are externally facing going through the My Login system over the period of the next few years. So any user, any unique user is going to have their own My Login account. So you will want to go ahead and have any of those folks, you know, they can pre-register as well. All of our access is done through that license contact system. So even if they are accessing the system, you know, they would just get a home screen that basically had, you know, no information or no links in it, you know, if they were to, you know, log into the homepage. But all of your sub users, yes, they do need to go ahead and create a My Login, or they will need to use that My Login process as well.
And Erica, you might have stated it while I was troubleshooting the My Login. There is a limit to the number of sub users and contact users that you can have.
Yes, it is 4 per license. And it'll let you know. I mean, if you get to that maximum number, the system will let you know that you have hit that number. And so you'll just want to take a look at, you know, what you got going on there.
Is that 4 in total or 4 of each?
That would be 4 of each. So you could have 4 sub users and 4 contact users for each license that you're associated with.
Okay.
So from this list view, I mean, we'll go to, like, we're going to start navigating as well, but we can really quick. So Sam hits the all license contact, the list view drop down there. You know, so we talk about number of records there. You are able to sort this a couple different ways. You know, if you have spirit and non-spirit licenses, you're able to just pull up spirit licenses. You're able to just pull up non-spirit licenses. You're able to bring up just those individuals who are active. And then you're able to pull up the inactives as well. So we do have the, you know, a way to kind of minimize what you're seeing. And then each one of these columns is, you know, it is a sorting column, you know, so like if Sam selects, you know, the license column, it'll sort the licenses, you know, in order. So if you are navigating through and you are linked to multiple licenses, you know, there's a couple different functionalities that we have built into the screen to make sorting things just a little bit easier. All right. Do you guys have any other questions on the My Login, the user setup, the migration, or anything like that in regards to the user setup that we have? All right. I am going to go ahead then and let Sam stop sharing, and I am going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to go through the navigation. And I do see that we have a comment on the chat here. I don't see an option for SIPS. In the My Login system, you are going to link to the AIMS system. And then once we go live on November 3rd, when you select AIMS, you'll have 2 options rather than 1. You'll see the AIMS option for the AIMS side of the portal, and then you will also see another button that will give you access to the registration system. So you will want to go ahead and link to the AIMS account. Good questions, you guys. All right, I am going to go ahead and share my screen now. So if you guys could just let me know when you can see.
I can see.
Very good. All righty. So when you log into the SIPS Plus product registration system, you are going to be navigated to the homepage. The homepage is going to give you a contact number for licensing. So if you should see that you're missing a license in the license tab, or you see something that, like, you know, just needs attention, we do provide some contact numbers there for you. You're going to see an instruction tab menu here. So you are going to have tiles, and each one of these tiles is linked back to instructions on each one of these high level areas. Right now we are in the test environment, so those are not there at the moment, but moving forward, you should be able to select any of these tiles, and it will take you back to manuals and information in regards to those particular topics. For our Spirit users, there is a Spirit dashboard. We did cover that in our Spirit session. We do have a non-Spirit dashboard as well. So there are a few reports that are out here that we have created. Again, we are in the test environment, so there's not a whole lot of data out here. But we do have different reports set up. We have the ability to, add to these, via request, so if you have something that you want us to add to the dashboard, we do have the ability to add these internally so that you guys can view them. If you go ahead and click one of these view reports, it is going to pull that up for you. So this particular report is our non-Spirit products by status. So it's going to give me an overall status report on, what do I have out there that's been submitted. So from this screen, I can see I have 4 items total that are not in an approved status. 3 of them are still in a submitted status, and 1 is with staff and it is currently being reviewed. So that is an example of one of the reports that you will see. And again, we do have an email address out there on the SIPS Plus site. So if you don't see something after go live, or you want to see a report added or information, that is something that you can submit to us. And then we can go ahead and take that into consideration, and look at getting those added. To the right, you're going to see some quick links. These are going to give you links to just knowledge articles in the system. So they're not a manual, but more so just a more concatenated version of, these different topics that we have. The last thing that I wanted to cover on the homepage is that we have a link back out to the other side of our system. So our SIPS Plus registration system and our licensing system are both housed in our AIMS system. And we want to give you a way to get back and forth, so we do know that we have users that they work on the licensing side, they might be doing renewals. They also work in the registration side. So what you're going to see on both sides of our portal is a link back to the other half. So, if you're in the registration system and maybe it's renewal season and you're like, oh man, I really got to go over and renew my license. You can click here, go over to the other side of the portal. And then once you're done, you can click the link to come back. So we do give our users a way to navigate back and forth without having to log out completely and then go back through my login to get to the other half. Do you guys have any questions on the homepage? Very good. All right, so we're going to move along. The next tab that we're going to look at is the accounts tab. Our accounts tab is going to give us a listing of any account that we are linked to. If I go ahead and select the tab, we're going to have very minimal details here. It's basically just going to let you know that you have an account, and it's going to give you your bid and your status. One thing I do want to point out though is in the related list here, we do give our users the ability to manage their trade names within the system now. So this is something that you guys are not currently able to do, but moving forward, if you need to create a new trade name or you need to, set your trade name to an inactive status, this is where you're going to go to do that. This is a topic that is going to be covered in our transaction submission training. So we will come back to how we go ahead and do that. But for now, I did just want to let you guys know and just kind of show you the difference between, the detailed information and that there is additional information available out here in this related list regarding your trade name. Any questions that you guys have on that? Yep, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, not on that, but there is a question in the chat. Will all of our currently registered products be imported into the new system?
They will. Yep. So we actually did get this question on the Spirit side too, whether individuals would need to go back out and re-register. And the answer to that is no, you won't have to. We are taking all of the product information that we have in the existing MWPR system, and we are moving it into the new system. Good question. Okay. I am going to lightly touch on the license contact because I do feel like we did cover this quite a bit when we talked about the user setup and, kind of how to manage that. But at a high level, again, your license contact is how you access information in the system. So if you are looking at accounts, you're looking for transactions, you're looking for products, you need to have an active license contact established in order for you to view anything that is associated with that license. And so all of that is listed out here in our license contact tab. And then additionally, if you go ahead and select the license contact, this is where you would go to, change the status of a license contact. Alrighty, I am going to move to the transaction tab. So your transaction tab is always going to default to your recently viewed items. The reason that we do this is because typically if you're coming back in, you might be checking the status on something that you submitted already. You may just, these are going to be the things that we think you're probably going to commonly want to come back to. So you are going to see the recently viewed first. We do have several other options as far as the list view is concerned and different ways to sort the information. So we can look at all open transactions. It's going to go ahead and let me know, what I have out there. I can look at anything that's been approved. And this is test data, so I don't have anything. If I'm looking for a specific type of transaction, so if I want to look at anything where I'm like associating or disassociating a product wholesaler, I can go ahead and pull that. And additionally, if I've got, trying to see if I've got other things out here. So different ways to view things. There are a lot of different transaction types that you can look at here. So non-spirit transactions will give you most anything in general. Your lists will probably be much longer, than our list here because, we are in the test environment. But this is where you would go to gather any information on the transactions. And you can sort them by status. You can sort them by type. But this is kind of your one-stop shop as far as listing out, what you have out there from a transaction standpoint. Any questions that you guys have on that? It's a submitted one as well. Okay. I'm going to move to the license tab next. I do like to use the little drop downs because I like the way that it formats that a little bit better. We've got a couple different views that we have here. You can look at all of your licenses. For our non-spirit users, we do have the option of selecting just the non-spirit products. And then there is the option for spirits on that side of the world as well. What you're going to see here is your bid, license number, the licensee name, it's some overall information. It is going to give you the type of license that you're looking at. If you select the license itself, it is going to bring you to a detailed page. So it's going to just give you, your licensee name, your number, a little bit of licensing information that we think you might not, you might not need it, but you might like it. What type of license you have, a link to a knowledge article here. We do have a related list on these accounts as well. And this is going to just give you anything related back to that license. So we've got products, we've got your product supplier wholesalers, and we will be covering that in just a moment. Any transactions that you create on that particular product will be listed here. So anything that you do or submit from this license is going to be linked back into these related lists for you. This is going to help you understand and know, be able to track anything that you've done in regards to, a specific product that's linked to this license. In the upper right-hand corner, you do have a couple different buttons. This is where we're doing any kind of user adding. Your registration of products is going to happen up in the right-hand corner here. And then there's just a couple other items, that you do have. The add spirit purchase order, that is actually for our spirit users. So that will be disabled for you guys, as well as submit a request. But if you want to correspond with anybody within the MLCC, you are actually able to send them an email directly through the system right in this license tab. So if you click send email, it's going to just pop up a drop down list where you are going to select a topic. So you just any overall topic or hit other. So here's go ahead and pick this. You can blind copy anybody if you want to so that you can add some folks to here. And then you'll just go ahead and throw a body into the email. So you're like, I have a question, and then what this does is this actually goes out to our MWPR email box is being updated to a SIPS box, but it goes out to our email box for this non-spirit registration folks. You will be CC'd on that as well. So you don't have to go out to send an email through your normal email. You'll get a copy of this, and we'll also get a copy of this. And then you guys can start to correspond via email, but you can start that process right within the system.
There is a question in the chat.
And
And
yeah, go ahead, Sam, if you want to go ahead and read
Yeah.
that.
yeah, so there's a question in the chat. Will we be able to handle spirit and non-spirit? And is the quote system for spirits going away?
Yes. Yeah. So we have done the spirit registration trainings already this week, and those are out there on the SIPS Plus site that we posted in this chat earlier. So yes, we are replacing both of the registration systems. So both spirits and non-spirits are being replaced, and they both live in the same system now. So we do have different functionality for the spirits and different functionality for the non-spirits, because, the rules are different for both, but you are a one-stop shop for registration moving forward. So if you do need to take a look at the training that we had for the spirit side of things, all of those training videos and that training material is posted out there on the SIPS Plus website. You're welcome. All right, I am going to move into our commission meeting tab. So we do have a link out here to the commission meetings for all of our users. Basically what this is it's just going to give you a list of the meeting dates that have taken place. And this link for administrative orders is just going to take you out to the MLCC webpage where we post these orders. So if you have something, that was appealed, or that there was something that you had that was going out on a commission meeting, you are able to go out, look for the date, and then link your out right to that administrative order. Instead of having to navigate to a separate web page, manually, we go ahead and we just link you to that, should you want that information. If you select the commission meeting name, it is going to basically give you the same information that is on that list. Your meeting name, the date that it took place, and a link back out there to the administrative orders. Any questions that you guys have there? Great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use the drop down where it says more. We do have a couple other items that we have available to us. I'm going to go ahead and click my product. So your product tab is going to function very similar to the way that your transaction tab does. It's always going to bring up your recently viewed first. You always have this selection, to view everything. So if you hit all, it's going to bring you all of the things that you have out there. You can search just by approved products. You can search just by discontinued products. So a lot of information that we have out here for our spirit and non-spirit folks. We do have, different views for non-spirits versus spirits. If you are looking for anything that is in a submitted status, you can view that. If you want to know if something is being reviewed by staff, you can go ahead and do that. So we do have a lot of different views for the products. This is going to be where you go. One thing that I did want to point out is that we do have the ability to, search based on a lot of different things here. So if you are looking for a specific product, you can go ahead and put in your product ID. So for a lot of you, we do have a system generated number. We did bring over your product IDs as part of your migration of product data. We did that. Our internal staff let us know that a lot of you guys use that product ID to identify things and to work through your things. So we did make sure that we migrated that information for you as well. And it is a good way, just, the filter up here does a lot of different things. You can search by COLA number, you can search by brand name. There's just a lot of different ways that you're able to search the data within the system. And as like Sam was showing you before, all of these columns are sortable as well. So if you need to sort by product name, if you're wanting to sort, by product type, you are able to, go ahead and do that. By COLA number, by product class. All of these columns are sortable. So you are able to, hop in there and do that. If you need to, you can go ahead and hit the printable view button up at the upper right, and that will take you out to another page where you are able to, get that data printed out. If you select a product, you are going to see, just some general information in regards to that product. If you scroll down, there is a lot of different information here. So anything that was applicable, you will see a couple different fields down here. These are TTB fields. Moving forward, we are integrated directly to the TTB. And what that allows us to do is that allows us to just, check status of COLAs and pull data directly from their website, directly from in our system here. And we'll cover this also when we start to talk about product registration. We link you for each product in a couple different ways back to the TTB. So if you want to take a look at your registration for this product, say that it's up for renewal or something, you can come in here, click the TTB link for your specific COLA. And this is just going to populate the COLA registry page for that liquor or that COLA number. So you are able to, get a new window to pop up and open this. Alternatively, we have another link out here as just the verify the search public. So we do have some users, that mentioned that they wouldn't mind having a link just to TTB in general, so that they could do their own searching. So we do offer that on a couple pages within the system. Links back to, just the search page for the COLA, and also a link back to your specific COLA detail. I'm gonna pop back out to the product here. In the related tab for your product, you are going to see product supplier wholesalers. I am going to go ahead and hit view all down here. This is going to give me my listing of any wholesalers that I have out here and the status that they are in. So for this particular product, I can see who my active wholesalers are. What you're going to see is your link back to the record for the PSW stands for product supplier wholesaler. It is our object within the system that helps us link products to suppliers and products to suppliers and wholesalers. So this is how we maintain that relationship. Your overall status here is just going to tell us, whether this is an active relationship or not. It's going to give you the license number for your wholesaler, the business location for your wholesaler. And we are going to also pull in a couple different statuses. So it's going to pull in your wholesaler status, and it's also going to pull in your supplier status. And the reason that we do that is if you have a relationship with a wholesaler and that wholesaler's license becomes terminated, this relationship will also automatically become inactive. Because we can't have an inactive wholesaler linked out there. So it's not something that you're going to have to manage, but we do provide that information to you guys as well, because if something's inactive and you're like, man, I don't remember doing that, it's sometimes helpful for you to know that this license is also in a terminated status, because that helps explain, okay, well, that makes sense because I wouldn't have an active relationship with something that is terminated. So that is the product supplier wholesaler from the product. I'm going to pop back to the product here. Any questions on the information that you are seeing on the product? And we are going to jump into, we do have a tab for the product supplier wholesaler too. So we'll be jumping into that as well. But any questions on the data that you're seeing from the product so far? Very good. In the upper right-hand corner, you are going to see a tab that says submit a transaction. This is where you are going to initiate transactions for those specific products. So if you are wanting to make a change, you would need to go out to the product, and then you would go ahead, submit a transaction, and that's where that process would begin. And we do have another training on, how to submit transactions for those different licenses or for those different products. All right. And I'm just going to read this comment because I think it's super positive. Loving all of the data that is searchable for the products. Much appreciated. That is like generally speaking, that is the number one thing that we have gotten the most positive feedback on was, just trying to be, transparent and, make as much stuff accessible as we possibly can. Um, so as you're navigating in the system, keep us posted, on any feedback that you guys have, or, there is a lot of data out here. So, definitely reach out if there's something that you feel like, like a related list that, you could be tweaked or more efficient, or a report, so we definitely want to, have open ears to what you guys think as you guys start to navigate through. The last tab that we're going to cover is the product supplier wholesaler tab. And we did kind of cover what this is, in the related list of the product. This is the junction object that we use in the system that allows us to link these three pieces together. So again, and you're going to see a very common theme as we start to go through the system and as we finish going through the system. You are typically going to be pulled back into a recently viewed list view if one is accessible. And the reason for that is we assume that if you started a process on something, you're probably going to want to know, what that looks like. List views are going to function very similar to, the other views that we have. You have a filter option in a lot of different ways. We can view everything. We can view anything that is active, from a product supplier standpoint, so this is where we need to be conscientious of those different status fields, so we have an overall status, which is going to say, is this an active relationship or not? And then we've got a couple different statuses out here as well. And these are the status of those specific individuals. And so I do like to just point that out a couple different times, because as you're going through your list view, if you are looking at product supplier active, it means, is the product supplier an active product supplier? Is that a discontinued person? And again, as I was kind of mentioning before, if you end up with, different statuses, where something is discontinued, you're not going to see an active status here. It is very common, we would know that if this product is discontinued, we're not going to expect that it has an active wholesaler on it. And again, we can pull active wholesalers, and all of these, they are sortable. We can sort them, by product. We can sort them by, the most recently created. We can sort by brand name. We can sort by COLA number. And a lot of these are, we can search here as well. In the search box, what you'll notice is it does let you know that there are some of our fields like that just standard functionality doesn't allow us to search for those, but we do let you know what those are up in here. I'm gonna go pop back up to any questions that you guys have in regards to the product supplier wholesaler information that we have. This is a new, I know that this is the idea of a wholesaler isn't new, but like, the idea of, a record that links them is a little bit new. So we do recognize that, and so we are always here to, answer any questions or anything that comes up on that topic as well. All right. From a navigation standpoint, that is all I have for you guys today. Any questions, just generally speaking, on the overall view, or anything within the site from a navigation standpoint that you guys have questions on or comments on? All right. Well, I do know that I probably will be seeing some of you here in the next few minutes. We do have another training session that is starting at 1:30. So I will go ahead then and give you guys back 9 minutes of your life. And I will see whoever is going to be on the product registration training in a few minutes. And reach out, you guys, if you have any questions.
Thanks.
Thanks all.
Thank you.